Welcome to day 22 of the Daily Doodle December Challenge. Before we jump into our doodle for today, let's do 3 big breaths together to fully arrive. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth with a big sigh. And again, inhaling. Exhaling, releasing any tension in the body with the out-breath. And then one more time, inhaling, exhaling, releasing any busy thoughts or worries. And let's jump into our doodle for today. So we're going to draw a line across, can be really anywhere. And then to the best of our ability, a parallel-ish line with a decent amount of space in between. And then we're going to draw a parallel-ish line that's close to that one and then close to that one. And we'll be drawing big circles. There can be space between, or they can be touching. We want them to be big because we are going to come in and color with our black pen in between the circles. And now, if you are going to only do the doodling with the pen, you'll want to, take your time and be as careful as you can be without stressing out about it, to color in and keep your circles the shapes that you drew. For me, I'm going to be adding color. Actually, you'd have to be fairly careful even if you were adding color with pencil crayon or marker as well, because whatever circle you leave is the circle that you have. I'm going to be coloring the circles in with gel pen. And because gel pen is opaque, it'll cover over any black pen. So I don't need to be that careful about the shapes of my circles. I could always reshape them or make them bigger with the gel pen later. So that's our first sort of ribbon. And now we're going to draw another one, and we're going to pretend it tucks in behind. It could be a different width or the same. And if you're watching closely, you will notice that my lines are not straight. My circles are often wonky, ovals or lopsided. I'm here to play and not seek what I may have been conditioned to think of as perfection or better. Who decided a perfect circle or a straight line was better than a wonky one? So let's try to remove judgment as we put pen to paper and just immerse ourselves in the pleasure and the joy that comes from making something. And now, I mean, you could put another one this way, this way. I mean, I'm going to try to not have it parallel to this one. I think it's more interesting if it's going in a different direction than the existing ones. So this one would theoretically go do, 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 do. So there's nothing to draw up here. And I'll color again. And anytime I color with the black pen, it's an opportunity to relax and practice patience. It's not the quickest way to color, but we're not in any hurry. And it looks so striking when we do take the time to color with the black. Now, I'm going to put another one in. I haven't left a lot of space. I'm going to do this one a little bit thinner. I often like to do things in odd numbers. So I normally would have liked to do a 5th ribbon, but because of the size that I've done, I feel like 4 is enough and I'll stop there. So if you're just doodling with your black pen and that's it, this could be it for you today. Or you might add doodles in the background or doodles in your circles. That's up to you. For me, I'm now going to switch to coloring, and I'm going to use pink and silver. So my vision is that I'll do silver on some of these edges, and where I do silver, I'm going to come back in with my black because I feel like I got a little bit thicker there with the silver than I intended. And where I've done silver up the edge, I'm going to do pink gel pen on my dots. So you might be able to see now how this gel pen has coverage that allows me to go right over top of the black if I want to change anything about the shape of my circles. All right. And then I'm going to do pink up the edge of one. Now feel free to use whatever supplies you have in whatever colors are calling to you today. And I'm going to do silver on the circles for this one. And keeping with my silver, I'll do this one up the edge. Coming back in with my black. There we go. And then I'm doing pink here. Now, if you look closely in a minute when I show you my green sample, my intention was to do this pattern, alternating if I'd done the edge with one color, doing the circles with another. But I ended up doing something different because I don't want to say I made a mistake, you know, I just didn't follow my plan. And I don't know if I was moving too quickly or moving on autopilot or whatever. I ended up with a less consistent pattern on my green, and I think it still looks great. So some of the ones on my green have the same color edge as the center. And today, so in the past, I've often done darker backgrounds that really help if the thing in the front is light for it to pop. These ones are fairly dark with all of the black coloring. So I've opted on today's samples to do the background in a light color. And I'm using pencil crayon, partly just for a little bit of variety, but also there's can give good coverage. You can give different intensities of color depending on how hard you press. And it covers the space, I want to say, fairly quickly. And then again in the next breath say, but we're not in a hurry. And there you go. That is the doodle for today. So now let us color in our tracking star. It's hard to believe we are on the first day of our third week already. Today happens to be my birthday. I'm a Christmas time baby. There we are, and I'll show you now the other samples. So this is the green and gold, and as I mentioned, it didn't follow the exact pattern that I did on today's demo, but I still think it looks fabulous. And then we have today's blue and silver sample on the Week at a Glance page, so the bigger space. I hope that gives you lots of inspiration and ideas for your doodle today, and I hope to see you back here again tomorrow for some more relaxing doodling.